Hello and welcome to the Soilink podcast. I'm delighted to be here with Ibon Iriba from Cemex Ventures, who I'll introduce in just a moment. I'm Will Rundle, co-founder of Soilink, which is the UK's premier AI-powered platform for trade and construction materials. Our materials exchange platform connects construction suppliers with buyers facilitating cost-efficient and sustainable material reuse and distribution. My guest today is Ibon Iriba, Investment and Open Innovation Advisor at Cemex Ventures. Cemex Ventures is the open innovation arm and the corporate venture capital of Cemex that invests in, partners with, and accelerates innovative ConTech and CleanTech startups to foster the construction revolution. Ibon deeply explores and analyses advanced technologies and construction industry and helps identify investments and business development opportunities with new startups and projects. Welcome, Ibon, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you, William, and happy to be here.
Excellent, thank you. So I've got a couple of questions prepared. Hopefully we'll flow through these and more questions will come up as we go through. So if I kick off, from your perspective, what are the biggest challenges facing the construction industry today, and how can innovation help address these issues?
Yeah. It's a great question because we have several challenges or problems that need to be solved and faced up. I would say depending on the region of different geographies like Europe, Asia Pacific, or North America or Latin America, the challenges could be different, but I would highlight as a main one the topic of sustainability and making the industry make it more sustainable and reach the decarbonization targets, and at the end of the day reducing the CO2 emissions at different stages of the construction value chain. That would be one of the main challenges. For example, on our side, on Cemex side, as a materials manufacturing company, we do have a big say here because we are one of the big CO2 emitters of the industry. But for example, there are further opportunities on making the recycling of materials, making that flow more circular instead of the current linear model, or for example, making the fleet, the construction fleet, for specifically for the supply chain, more sustainable. For example, using alternative fuels or make it the fleet electrical. That kind of stuff could be one of the biggest challenges that we have in the industry, and introducing the factor of the innovation in this big equation could be one of the solvers or supporters for achieving these goals.
Sure, and I guess from coming at it from a slightly digital bias, I guess there's a load of different technologies and companies you're working with, and I've had the pleasure of seeing and been with you at some events, and the kind of companies that you're investing in and partnering with. And there's a lot of product development. As you say, you're a big material producer, but there's also a lot of digital and innovation coming through. So super exciting to see that you're making such waves in the industry.
Yeah, and in our case, we are also focusing on our, let's say, internal value chain, but also we are trying to cover from a innovation perspective. We are trying to cover also the whole construction value chain. So we are tackling this sustainability issue not only for internal needs, but also trying to add somehow that problem solving from an innovative perspective for the whole industry.
Awesome. So I guess there's some key trends or technologies that you're seeing come through the construction industry. What would excite you the most, or what specific, or is there a specific type that excites you the most?
Yeah, well, we are seeing a lot of at different industries and sectors, but we are seeing a lot of um, solutions and initiatives focused or with a high basis of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So we could that technology could be applied almost to every level of the value chain. But on from our perspective, what we try to do is to identify the different problems or challenges that are at different stages of the value chain, and then try to give somehow an answer to those challenges independently of the technology. We are quite technologically speaking quite agnostic on in that sense. So as a key trends or key technologies, we see a lot of artificial intelligence, but also we are also seeing, for example, carbon capture, utilization, and storage technologies, which is those are quite crucial for the not only our industry, materials manufacturing industry, but also for the steel and other kind of materials, chemicals, additives, and so on. And for example, we are also, for example, waste management solutions or technologies, digital platforms for sourcing new materials, components, products. We are also seeing quite interesting wave in the pre-construction phase. For example, the prescription of more sustainable materials. For example, at the design and planification stage.
Okay.
And yeah, those are the main ones. I said before, also alternative fuels like or electrification and the use of hydrogen for different operational stuff could be another key technologies that could add some disruption to this industry.
That's interesting. I was going to zero in on one of your points you made there about the pre-construction stage, and I suppose most people in construction are super guilty of having little amount of time and the build up to these projects, where I think everyone wants to do better, but often time doesn't allow, and there are technologies and there are different products that can be available, but because the industry is so reactive, it's not often these options are taken advantage of. And I guess if we through as a community, as an ecosystem, can facilitate that pre-construction, that planning stage, and start to weave in better, I don't know, there's probably better adjectives for it, but more sustainable, more economic options that these projects can take advantage of, that'd be a huge step forward there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think in this particular stage, not only in this one, but in general, there are a lot of data silos, or the information is gathered in a very not linked way. So, for example, if we need or me as an architect, I need to source, let's say, more sustainable or for example, recycled materials. I have, but it could take me more time compared to, for example, if I use this kind of database or sustainable database platforms. And I think here, for example, the designers, architects, and people in general, people that are working in the are focused on the pre-construction stage have a big say to a big say, and also a lot of to add to the conversation here.
Definitely, and you're so right about saying the industry is so fractured, so fragmented that there's that sort of missing that centralized point where this information could be available for architects, designers, people specifying products onto projects. So yeah, absolutely right, it's massive. Looking at the challenges, we see the sort of traditionally conservative construction industry, and how, perhaps rephrase this, what are the challenges you see the traditionally conservative construction industry facing when adopting sort of more innovative or digital technology solutions?
Yeah, I think we have the technology available, but in most of the cases, we don't know how to use that technology. We know that we could use those technologies and we could save a lot of time, money, and resources in general, but we don't have the let's say, I would say flexibility or proactivity to go to identify and also say, okay, I want to try this technology. We the industry in general, it's quite focused on the daily stuff, and opening that mindset to new technologies, new approaches, or new practices in the industry. I would say that is one of the main challenges that we have from a innovation adoption perspective. So yeah, and that would be the challenge.
Yeah, for sure. That's it's quite a big it's quite a breadth of as you're agnostic, and you must see so many different options coming to the table that you've got to, you and your wider team have to sit and understand and think, actually, this may be too advanced for the industry right now, or this is perfect, or actually, we may be past that.
Yeah, and also, for example, the development of certain technologies. In some case, for example, in earlier stage development phases, we do have, for example, some MVPs or some initial product that could be tested, and the answer could be, okay, it's not so developed, so it's not solving the whole problem that I have over the table. So it's I'm going to decline, or yeah. From our perspective, the let's say the advice would be to have a open mindset and proactivity to test things, because I said before, the technology is available already in the market. It's not like 7, 8, 9, or 10 years ago that there were few solutions and very specific, like for, let's say, project management. We do have a lot of options. And also another advice could be, I don't have the need to test everything at the same time. So a good approach would be, for example, identify the problems I have. Out of let's say 20 problems or 20 challenges, I'm going to prioritize 4 or 5, and I'm going to start with those. And it's a lot easier to have a better approach to the innovation and adopting innovation, and especially at big corporations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's super interesting, and well, let's keep our eye on what happens there in the short term to come. So it does actually lead me quite nicely into another thought I was just having there. So it has been widely reported the world is going through an economic revolution driven by technological advancements. and I suppose in a way that's not been seen since the Industrial Revolution. And at the heart of the change is the platform economy. We've seen this spearheaded by super well-known platforms such as Airbnb, Uber, Amazon, which facilitate digital interactions between people, significantly disrupting the general concept of linear economies. So, can you share your thoughts on how digital platforms like Soilink will in time revolutionise, or hopefully revolutionise, the construction sector and what benefits this will bring?
Yeah, well, it's clear that a platform like Soilink and other similar ones, they have a high component of digital component. So let's say, for example, in our case, we try to make partnerships with like with Soilink or other similar companies in order to validate the on one hand validate the value and the potential of the solution from not only from a digital perspective but also from a problem solving perspective of Cemex or other big corporations, and then we try to move that to an let's say investment opportunity, and then we have a good, let's say, partnership or joint opportunity to make the company grow and also make our and facilitate our internal needs. So in the specific case of Soilink, for example, facilitating the sourcing of new aggregates, new recycled materials, components. This is something that takes a lot of time in a traditional way in the industry, and also not supported, but feeling the pressure of the regulation. This could be a solution or an offering that could be quite interesting for not only for materials manufacturers, but also for, let's say, contractors and people in general that are working on a construction project, and also are pressured by the legislation that, for example, says that they have the need of introducing X amount of recycled components. So in a nutshell, this, for example, making this sourcing digitally could save a lot of time, money, and also drive somehow innovation for to the construction industry.
Amazing. And on that, it's been since our first interaction, I don't know how many months ago it was now, but yourself and on behalf of Cemex Ventures have been really engaged with myself and the team at Soilink, and it's great to see. We have a two-sided market as a digital platform. We have as you said a moment ago, the contractors and the mainly contractors part of the market, and then we have the supply side of the market. So companies with a global presence such as Cemex, showing such an open door to potential disruptors to the market. It's been really positive, and actually so supportive to have that engagement from you at such an early stage, and it has been very open door, and you've been brilliant so far, so appreciate it.
Yeah, and also this is something that is on an earlier stage because the regulation is not so developed, but we are starting to see some specific rules or specific laws in different geographies, UK, in France, especially in the European context. And and we definitely think that this is something that could be developed in the medium term at a general level to the whole industry.
Hence why you have a proactive approach to ConTech and CleanTech through your investments, partnerships, and accelerator programs. How do you see major material companies navigating and adapting to changes that ConTech and CleanTech bring to the built environment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, our main scope, as you said, it's ConTech and also CleanTech, but CleanTech applied to the built environment.
Yeah.
So in that context, I think we as say in the industry of materials manufacturers, we are trying to waive the innovation or trying to bring innovation to our internal needs, but aiming to decrease those CO2 emissions and making our value chain more sustainable. So on that front, for example, in the specific case of Cemex, we are investing in specifically in those sectors or verticals, but we are investing in early stage companies. But not only investing, we are trying to also test things and implementing those technologies in our operations, and also for the short, medium, and long-term view. And and I think the rest of the competitive landscape of Cemex, it's trying to have the same approach. And here, the predominant verticals or topics could be, as said before, CCUs, alternative fuels, hydrogen, circular business models, for example, to reintroduce demolition concrete, or at the end of the day, after the challenge of the big challenge of the CO2, the other big challenge that we have as an industry is the more efficient management of the water.
Yes.
Because it's a very limited resource, and very few of us are giving to this resource the true value that it has. So we should take into account that based on the different business lines that each competitor have, but a lot of our operations and activity are in highly water stressed geographies.
Sure.
So there is a big challenge there also to, as I said before, make it the real consumption more efficient and more responsible. So in a nutshell, ConTech and CleanTech applied to the built environment should go very linked, and those are the challenges that we are seeing that could be the main drivers of the innovation in the short and medium term in this ecosystem.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I suppose, do you think that the companies that are slow or resistant to change will face growing changes as the construction industry becomes more digitally enabled?
Well, here it's another factor that should be taken into consideration. That is the budget or the capital to make this sort of trials or experiments in the innovation landscape. And for example, big corporations like Cemex and other GCs, we do have certain budget to make or to develop these projects. But for example, small and even some medium-sized companies, they don't have enough resources to, for example, to adopt or to develop a digitalization strategy for the whole company. So, for example, solutions like Soilink and other many other solutions in the digital solutions in the construction landscape could help to bring, well, on one hand, to solve the internal needs, and also bring that innovation that is much needed in the industry.
That's exactly it. It's sometimes hard to, as you say, you have so many opportunities coming towards you, and you're in a position where you have a strategy and you have a budget, you have a team. I suppose that's the fear and the where we have to try and bridge the gap from a digital point of view. As a company producing a solution, we need to make it as easily adopted for companies where they perhaps may struggle to find the time and understand the product, and we need to be very clear and concise with our with what we can bring and why the change needs to happen from a perspective of value proposition and that's not always just going to be economic. That can be productivity, planning, obviously help with sustainability targets. So that's I suppose from our point of view as the guys that are trying to make these changes, reaching out to the people like yourself. We need to try and make it as adoptable as possible, and then hopefully between the two of us we'll be able to make something happen.
Yeah.
Did you have any sort of further thoughts or anything you want to discuss prior to us wrapping this up? So I appreciate I've had a lot of your time this morning. So is there anything you actually want to run through ahead of that?
Yeah, here I would also add that, as I said before, there are a lot of opportunities or technologies in the market, but it's not so easy to find a balance between a good technology or a technology that fits in your internal needs and economically viable solution or offering. So the balance is, or the challenge is to making the both sides equally balanced. And for example, let's say or partnering with big corporations could be a good opportunity to validate that the technology fits, and also the economic proposition also fits in the whole scheme of the project.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that almost goes back to the point that you made earlier, that you have availability and you have sort of is in being able to be reached out to, and you have your accelerator programs and what have you. So partnering, and that's not just, I suppose, in financial investment, but it's partnering, it's time, and it's your experience in the industry. That, yeah, I think that's super important for how we progress through this. Excellent. Well, as we run out of time, Ivan, I would like to say thank you so much for joining me on the SoilLink podcast. It's been a super interesting discussion. You can find out more about Ivan and Cemex Ventures at cemexventures.com. To find out more about SoilLink, the digital marketplace for construction materials in the UK, go to our website, soil-link.co.uk. Please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments on this episode, we'd love to hear them. Until next time, thank you very much.